Alright guys, we are here with a Pac-Man replay you sent me. It was supposedly very good. Observer. Or is this me or in here? I don't know. No, I'm not in here. Okay, this should be a pretty good game here. So let's see here. We've got Pac-Man, Zava, Plice, Neerum, Aloera as Fang, Mechonis, Reaperman is. I think all these were random. So, wow. Talk about a crazy arrangement of things. Nice split there by Pac-Man. Let's see what the APM is here. On average, KRK and Aloera. Actually, Aloera was doing pretty good. Superman at 37. I don't know how that kid does it, man. I mean, he's not bad, when he's trying, he's doing pretty well. But I'm not sure how you do that with all you do with with just 43 APM. Nice split there by KRK, by the way. Really well done. Marines are just everywhere. Pac-Man should be targeting, yeah, there you go, that middle one. Not sure if, Pac-Man is kind of overcommitting himself here. Not sure what he was trying to accomplish by getting in that space. KRK saving up for probably a C skill, but he doesn't want to overcommit to that chase, so looks like Aloera does kill Plice there. Seven mana plus mana card looks like. I think they had a little bit of an interchange in the middle. Pac-Man looks like. A lot of creep falling behind there with Pac-Man. Uh, Looks like Reaper had a nice kill there on Makanas. Um, I guess although not surprising, 7 mana is going to be, uh, a good matchup versus Jan, just to be able to outpush and dominate the lane. Aloe not really bothering to check the towers. Plyce losing vision, but it does manage to kill Aloe with that high burst. I always laugh at these little force fields. There's such a slap in the face. Reaperman taking advantage of that 7 mana, using a mana card. Forces Makanas to use his shield. Very professional play there by Makanas. Well done. Looks like Pac-Man blinks just in time to avoid that little bounce. But if you were Cylon, would have been a different story. Plyce using a potion there, but does overcommit to it. And looks like Aloe does manage to win that battle. Pac-Man sneaking in for that kill. And does get it. KRK grabbing a speed card to kind of boost his mobility in mid-game here. So he can farm and teleport and stuff. Good move. Reaperman just always using those mana cards. At this point, kind of a stalemate. Kind of baiting. Not sure what he was trying to accomplish here, but maybe he was trying to bait. Nice kill there. I think he was trying to mind game him into committing to that kill. But if it wasn't for KRK, Makanas probably would have won that, since he had the positional advantage. Tricky little play there. Nice little kill there by Plyce. But KRK always there, as usual. Pac-Man using his potion way too early. And yeah, he does blink on the same spot. So. Shan does have pretty long range, so if Sedate catches her, in too short of a range, Jan can actually do more damage during the time. that Sedate is using his ultimate skill. Looks like Pac-Man snuck in there and killed Alora. KRK harassing as usual, just ridiculous skill. That X Jade Beam thing. Nice kill there by Plyce, actually. Really well done. Pac-Man, when he gave me this replay, told me that it was a pretty good comeback. Makanas landing a curse there, but really actually nicely done there by Reaper. That little slow last minute to try to slow him down and get away. Tricky little move. Pac-Man taking advantage of Alora's farming. Nice team play there. Pac-Man trying to go for the kill, but he just does overcommit and gets away by a hair, but KRK does sneak in a great light nuclear there. Good predictive action. Yeah, Pac-Man kind of overcommitted to that one. Although, it's hard because in a team situation, Abel and Fang, that's going to be, I don't know. I just think that's going to be much more annoying than Niram and Zava. It's like some of the most challenging heroes to play versus some of the most easiest ones. Reaper getting blocked there. Nicely done by Makanas. I'm getting some lag right now. I'm not sure what the heck is going on. Nicely done, though. Good job on that one. He did trap him just in time. This is going to be a hard matchup, even though Niram has a lot of burst. Fang can out-farm Niram and out-control the space as well. Nice positional play there by Aloera and whittling Zava down. Zava is very dangerous if she gets close, but but she can take a lot of harass, and then she's an easy kill. Very vulnerable to that kind of stuff. Nice save there by Team 2. Great turnaround. Or Team 1, actually. Never mind. KRK is on Team 1. Really slick little play. I don't know when this lag is going to clear up. I was just in another replay, and it was fine. For like 50 minutes. No lag. Nothing. And now when I actually want to do something... Yeah, the last one I was casting it. Well, at least so I thought. And there was nothing. Nice kill there by Pac-Man. Good sweet spot timing and positioning. Yeah, I was sitting there talking for 50 minutes, and I realized I'm like, oh, this thing isn't recording. So I got really upset. It's like, well, I might as well just take a look at another replay. I don't feel like looking at that one again. But that one had no lag. I was in there for 15 minutes. Nothing. Good positioning there. Zava is very difficult because of that positioning element. and people who can pull it off, she does very high damage if used right. Nice timing there by Team 1. Arcana's trying for an auto attack kill, but does overcommit in the time that he's got his shield on. So Niram looks like a little druggy, he looks like a little crack addict to me. And he's fiending right now, he doesn't have any a little bit early with the defensive skill there. And does Abel's beam cancel? It looks like Abel's beam cancels that defensive skill. That's strange. Huh. As usual. Good job, Makanas, landing a curse on that Marine. That was excellent. I mean, talk about a demoralizing, thing to do, If I was in a pack of Marines and I'm fighting this giant medic and one of my buddies gets cursed, I mean, I would just throw in the towel at that point. So good job, Makanas. I mean, that's got to be really giving a blow to the other team. At least their infantry, at least the creep. Maybe not the heroes or the players, but definitely the Marines. So Pac-Man doing a great job there, using probably about 5 potions for that turret, and then warping out. So definitely getting a return on his money for the amount of effort he's putting in. Some wise business decisions here. Aloera, of course, following Pac-Man, trying to get a kill, but does have the positional disadvantage because of the Marines. Nice death there by Plyce. Really, really good job. Pac-Man chasing KRK there. But KRK, as usual, warps out. I don't know. I think KRK has some kind of Korean password that allows him to use the warp every 15 seconds. That, and I think shields for him cost half the price of what they cost for other players. Nice little gangbang there with Aloera dropping close to 8 potions just to survive. Nice kill there by Pac-Man, but he does die in the process, and they're all dead. This point, this game's been pretty action-packed, actually. We're looking at about 30 to 24 for Team 1. Bunker's still not down. 30 minutes in the game. Good stuff. Yeah, it looks like Pac-Man. Where is Pac-Man? What color is he? Yellow. Who's Colonel? Nice play there. Really well done. Good job, Pac-Man. We can see some Zava action happening there. Zava great at destroying buildings. That's one thing that, on a serious note, that she is very, very potent at. Aloera taking out McConnus there. That was a pro warp right there by Aloera. That was, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a warp that accurate. You know, to be almost full HP and to warp out with no significant danger next to you. That takes some skill right there. Looks like the commander killed KRK's bunker. Another death by Plyce. Plyce is doing a good job here. You know, I think he'll be coming up to the 20 death bonus along with McConnus, who just got the 10 a few minutes ago. McConnus taking that risk, but he does have a potion and is able to tank Aloera while Pac-Man comes up. Well done. KRK kind of shining in this one with Abel. 15 and 7. That's the best ratio in this game right now. Plyce is running around super fast here. Near him is pretty annoying, I have to admit. When I lost Quakers to Niram, I was very upset. It's incredibly hard to click on, and then he uses his little shield. That's like, looks like Reaverman did drop a potion there, but McConnus overcommits to that kill, does get trapped, and Plyce comes in to die, of course. But Jan running away. It's a block. Thankfully, McConnus has a warp. This is just silly. KRK here. I'm trying to play with my left hand because my is getting sore holding it up. Don't get any dirty thoughts. I was talking about the microphone. Nice little interchange there, but Aloera controlling all that space with his balanced hero. Team 1 does take it out. However, Plyce in the meantime is contributing, if not with kills, definitely with taking out some buildings. But he has to get that 20 death bonus, so he's definitely going for it. Reaperman Aloera, racing for those tanks there last minute. Team 2, they're behind by seven kills and 10 assists, but the buildings are tied, so this is still a pretty close game. McConnus in a team of a lot of trappers. I mean, you've got all three heroes have some form of trap. That's really good anti-Jan kind of stuff. Nice blink there by Pac-Man. However, he does blink right into the arms of death with Aloera and everyone else waiting for him. I would have blinked somewhere and suicided at that point. Team 1 going to make a comeback here with their buildings. KRK maintaining his position nicely there. Nicely done. Although he does get chased. Whoop! Let me get player camera here again so I don't lose my footing. Interesting little animation there. I wonder if it lasts until, yeah, it looks like the warp dispels everything. Fat Girl landing a curse on the spider, and Pac-Man dies. When in doubt, put shield up and run like hell. Trap, trap, trap. Yeah, that's a death sentence for Janet. If she's out of the base pretty far, then that was a pro beam right there by KRK. Really well done. Looks like Zedade is purple, but not his scooter. I'm not sure what Reaper Man is doing here. Looks like they're both just taking a walk in the park together. Lovers on a beach. A lot of individual fights going on here. Kind of throws his shield up. McConaughey looks like, he wants to be king of the hill here. Fat Girl wants the cookie jar for herself, so he's one that throws off that hill. Lands a curse on Abel, and nicely done. Nicely done. Good curse there. That got a lot done. It got a lot done, especially at this point in the game when Abel has a lot of life and cards and stuff. That curse is really going to be helpful at that point. Got a lot done. Good job. Nice force field there, actually. Not bad. Laconis is really controlling that space. Does lock everybody in. KRK throwing his awesome beam out as usual. Really good aim there. Definitely, that colonist hut's got to be feeling it, at least. Somebody, those colonists are probably freaking out because they can't use their defensive skills. They're like, oh, nice there by Pac-Man. Good luring and baiting. Aloe Vera, as you can see, just carrying health potions and being a tank. I mean, just dropping a ton of them as usual. McConaughey is very conservative with his potions. That's something I have to hand it to him. He really does know how to pace himself. Kind of notorious for baiting you to kill him and then using his potions right at the right time to make a comeback, especially late game. Nicely done there by Pac-Man. Got to give him that one. That was a nicely done little play. was a fail of a trap there by McConas, but he does get away. Pac-Man getting away with a hair there, 94. But he does have 44 armor, which is pretty good. Pretty good stuff. Aloera's got a skill attack card and still doesn't even have speed. That's one thing, I very much disagree with. Getting only 2 speed by the end of late game and just putting everything into armor or health, whatever. Speed is kind of a necessary thing, I think. Aloera does die with all his stuff. He drops like 3 potions, I think. 3 or 4. Working up to the late game here, Team 1 still in the lead by kills. At this point, it's kind of a stalemate with buildings. They're both the same. Plyce looks like he did get his 20 death comp. Good job on that. Good planning. That's good planning. You think, okay, well, I might not get the bonus for 20 deaths at the beginning of the game because just can't do it. But late game, it's going to be a hefty, 250 gas that I can put towards a speed card at least. I mean, it's some good stuff. Conus landing a curse halfway across the screen practically. KRK is carded up with a bunch of different cards. But Pac-Man, 46 armor. I gotta hand it to him. I don't know how he pulls it off, but very, very nice. A lot of burst damage from Team 2, whereas Team 1 is much more farming and space control, damage over time kind of stuff. Nice team play there by Team 2. That was actually pretty nice. Gotta give them credit for that. Pac-Man taking advantage of that ultimate skill to farm. Generals at this point are still, like I said, still a pretty close game. Could be anyone's game at